Hi everyone. I want to share with you today something very, very simple. And in fact, it has nothing complicated. And that is the first thing that needs to be understood. That there is nothing complicated about it. If you think it's complicated, then it's going to be difficult to get it. But it's extremely simple. So, at this very moment, through these eyes and through your eyes, something is perceiving. It's obvious. Something is perceiving the visual sensations, right? At this very moment, through these ears and through your ears, something is perceiving the auditory signals. So it's self-evident. There's nothing to argue about with that. There is awareness of the visual sensations and awareness of the auditory sensations. Nobody can argue with that, right? So, this awareness of the visual inputs and the auditory inputs is undisputable. There is this awareness, it is happening, but it is quite mysterious. In which way it is mysterious? Well, to begin with, we never notice that it is present. So I would like to ask you to first notice that it is present. It's obviously present. And this noticing that there is awareness, there is awarenessing of the visual inputs and the auditory inputs, as well as tactile, awareness of the tactile signals, the noticing that there is awareness happening at this moment in your own experience is a very important noticing. That noticing has to happen if you want to wake up. Without that noticing, no awakening. There has to be the noticing that, hey, yes, sure, wow, there is awareness of the visual inputs, of the auditory inputs, even the tactile inputs. Wow, what is that awareness? Become curious about it. What is this? What is this awareness, this mysterious awareness? We could call it awarenessing. There is awarenessing of the visual inputs, awarenessing of the auditory inputs is undisputable. So please take a moment. Notice it. Just notice it. Nobody can deny this. Now, this awarenessing that is happening could be called also perceiving. There is perceiving of the visual inputs, perceiving of the auditory inputs. There is an undisputable perceiving happening right there in your own experience at this very moment. Right? And the noticing of this perceiving is also a perceiving. So you could say that there is perceiving of the perceiving. And yes, that's the case. There is perceiving of the perceiving. So we could say that this perceiving is capable of perceiving itself. Because otherwise there would be two perceivings, one noticing the other, and that is not the case. So the perceiving is noticing itself. The perceiving is perceiving itself. Do you see that? The perceiving is noticing or perceiving itself. the awareness is aware of itself. When you notice awareness, that's what is happening. Awareness is aware of itself. It cannot be otherwise. Otherwise, you will have two perceivings, two different perceivings, one looking at the other. No, there's one perceiving only, looking through your eyes and listening through your ears. Just one perceiving. When it notices itself, then that perceiving has become aware of itself. It's perceiving itself. So take a moment now to notice that. Notice that there is perceiving at this moment. Perceiving of the visual inputs and the auditory inputs. Notice that it is possible to perceive both inputs at the same time. Perceiving is capable of that. Awareness is capable of that. Perceiving the visual inputs, perceiving the auditory inputs. It's capable of that. Okay, I want to stop here. And I want to tell you that this is the first step towards awakening. Noticing that there is perceiving here. Here and now there is perceiving. That perceiving of itself is the first step towards awakening. Because what I'm going to tell you is kind of crazy, but you can realize it in your own experience. You are that perceiving. That's what you are. You're not a person. You're not so and so. You're just pure awareness. So if you noticed a moment ago that perceiving, that awarenessing that is happening right now, you noticed your true nature. For the first time you noticed your true self. Take a moment to notice yourself. It is the first step towards awakening.